I literally went through both packs and reread all the information page by page to make sure I haven't missed anything, and I thought, as I've gone to the effort to do that, why not share this with you guys? Hey guys, I hope you're all well. This video is more for people that are already aware of the Slimming World plan. If you don't know how the plan works, then you need to watch the first video I ever uploaded onto YouTube, which is my Slimming World Explained Clearly video. And I'll put a link to that in the description box, and what you can do is watch that to get the basics and then come and watch this for the updates. So, as you guys all know, I'm not a consultant, but just like to know everything, like if there's any change, or I'm one of those sad cases that will have a manual and will read it from page 1 to page 100 because I don't want to miss anything. So that was the case with Slimming World. I literally went through both packs and reread all the information page by page to make sure I haven't missed anything, and I thought, as I've gone to the effort to do that, why not share this with you guys? So there's obviously been two sets of changes. One was in September, where fat-free yogurts, tinned pasta, smash, all of those changes were introduced. And then you had an overall kind of update on December the 24th. I think the new pack started coming out. So I'm just going to combine it all and give you a complete update. That covers everything pre-September 2018. Nothing beats obviously going to group and getting all this information from your consultant, who are fully trained and fully in the know about this stuff. But this is if you don't get a chance to go to group, or of course if you just want to refresh. So just to quickly cover off what you get in this new pack, I just love it compared to the old one. I think it looks so classy, and in it you get your main food optimizing book, which is what I'm going to go through today. And the only thing I'm going to miss is obviously all the stickers that I've earned over the last year or so. But yeah, it's also nice to get a shiny new version, which is completely clean, almost like a new slate. I don't actually remember this in the old pack, but it's a Be Delighted with Your First 6 Weeks, and it's a complete guide and a 6-week meal plan at the end as well, with setting goals and that kind of thing. I remember you could get these with countdowns and things, but now they've put it in the pack. I might be completely wrong, it might have been there all the time, but I think this is brilliant. And then you've got Be Together at Your Group, which obviously is all about the importance of attending group, which I can't emphasize enough how much difference just being there an hour and a half every week makes. Just to be in a room of people that are going through the same journey, share the same experiences, nothing beats that to keep you committed and on plan. And also at the back it's got My Best Week Ever, a new section which is if you've had a really good week, just capturing everything that worked so that you've got that as record and you can reference it back, which I think is really clever actually. And then you've got your fit logs and your food diaries, which has obviously been updated in accordance with the changes. A couple of leaflets. You've got your Body Magic, obviously is the same. Also now got a separate little booklet for SP days, which is brilliant, and I'll come on to that at the end. So for this video, I'm going to focus on the food optimizing and the new SP booklet, because really all the changes are relevant to these two. Let's get straight into this. There are overall messages that I think have been further emphasized in the new book. Like Margaret, obviously the founder and the chairman of Slimming World, emphasizes a lot more the importance of attending group. As I said, it makes the world of difference attending group. I'd always put that over going online, doing it alone at home. And then there's more emphasis on the 1/3 speed. I think sometimes people think, oh, free food, amazing, but I'm always trying to explain, a third of your plate has to be speed at least. So yes, you can have as much free food as you want, but every single time you need to make sure there's a third speed there. And also there's a little bit more emphasis in opting for speed food between meals as well, so as snacks, going for speed first. And then there's a little bit more around the importance of planning and measuring and checking, basically just not estimating anymore, and also logging as you go as opposed to at the end. So I think that's all so important. It's things that I've been advocating on my Instagram right from the start. I'm really pleased that's all been emphasized. Okay, so let's get on to changes with free food. Your meat and poultry is exactly the same, your fish is exactly the same, nothing changed there. So we come on to dairy, which is where a few bits have changed. And apologies if I keep looking that way, it's because I've typed everything out on my laptop so I can make sure I don't forget anything. So one of the changes from September is that all fat-free flavoured yogurt is now sin. It's not much, it's between half and 1 sin, but also any other flavoured yogurt has gone up. So I know I used to have is it Skyr? Is that how you say it? Skyr? Anyway, I say Skyr. That high protein yogurt. It used to be 2.5 sins, and I think it's gone up to like 10 sins or something like that. So do check your apps for all your flavoured yogurts and make sure you've got the right values. But fat-free ones are generally 0.5 sin to 1 sin now. Low-fat cottage cheese was in the old book and it's now only fat-free cottage cheese. Quark has been updated to unflavoured quark because obviously now they get like vanilla quark and all these funky flavours out. So none of those are free, only the unflavoured one. The new additions is any fat-free Greek yogurt, fat-free natural Skyr. Again, I'm probably saying that wrong, but anyway, someone let me know if I am. And also they've introduced overall some really good vegan options, so dairy-free plain soya yogurt. With your rice, pasta and grains, the only change is they're promoting whole grains now as a better option. So for example, whole wheat or wholemeal couscous, rice, pasta, all of that are obviously far better than the white options. Free food vegetables, I was like, butternut squash is gone, all the squash is gone, what's going on? But all they've done is just put squash, all varieties are now free. So that's the reason why. Woo! Purple sprouting broccoli is new, which is really funky actually. I've seen that in people's Instagram pics, so I'm going to need to pick some of that up. And tomato puree has been moved to store cupboard ingredients. And then in your fruits, blueberries are now a speed food. I always wondered why they weren't, but anyway, they are now, so that's great. Beans, peas and lentils. A number of these are no longer protein, so that includes baked beans in tomato sauce, broad beans, mung beans, all varieties of peas including mushy peas. None of those are protein anymore, but they're still free, so you can still enjoy them, but just not count them as protein. Under vegetable protein and meat replacements, you've got some new good vegan options. So you've got jackfruit in canned water. You've got, oh, how do you say this? Seitan fillets, Seitan. That's how it's got it in the book. That's free. Textured soya or vegetable protein, so long as it's plain, unflavoured, that's free as well. Store cupboard ingredients, so you've got Bovril, was in the hot drink section before, so now they've added it here. And Marmite is a new addition. And also there's a little emphasis here about some products being high in salt, so not to overly use them, such as soy sauce, Marmite, stock cubes. So yeah, that's really good. I feel like overall, Cinnamon World is just trying to make sure we're making better choices where we can. I think that's everything changed under free foods. And then you've got your healthy extras. The biggest change here is you still get one healthy extra B choice, but you now get 2 healthy extra A choices every single day. So they've nicely clarified this in the book now. So your A choices are your milk and cheese, and your B choices are your cereals, breads, crisp breads, dried, canned and cooked fruit, nuts and seeds. So with the milk, the changes have mainly just been to some measurements. So for example, instead of 175 ml of whole milk, you now get 200 ml. Almond drink's gone down considerably. It was 1 litre and now you get 400 ml. A new addition is 400 ml plain soya drink, and rice drink was 250 ml. It's now 225 ml. Sweetened plain soya has now been removed, so it needs to be unsweetened to be a healthy extra A choice. With cheese, the change is soft goat's cheese has been removed. Probably my biggest disappointment, low fat soft cheese like Philadelphia and stuff, that's been removed. But on the other hand, they've introduced 40 grams of paneer as a new entry, and I am so excited to do a recipe on that very, very soon, so watch this space. Another 2 additions is 40 grams of smoked processed cheese like Austrian or Bavarian, whatever that means, and another vegan option is 40 grams of cocoa dairy-free alternative to cheddar. And taking out the Philadelphia, they've now added in 4 McClelland, is that how you say it? Seriously spreadable, lighter, creamy cheese squares. Now coming on to healthy extra B choices. All soups have been removed as a healthy extra B choice. Sin values for some soups have also gone down, so I'll mention that in the sin section. So under cereals, some of the new entries are you now get 45 gram Kellogg's whole grain wheats and raisin, 40 gram of Nestle Oat Cheerios, provided it's less than 5% sugar. They've taken out the Mornflake Swiss style muesli. Fruit filled wheat biscuits are out as well. And they've also taken out Quaker multigrain and introduced instead a sachet of either the Oat So Simple gluten-free porridge original or Quaker, Super Goodness, Super Fruits porridge in all varieties. So a few changes with bread, mainly to measurements. So 60 grams of rye bread now, it used to be 50. You get one gluten-free roll, equivalent of 60 grams basically. It used to state 2. And then it says 2 small slices of wholemeal bread from a 400 gram loaf. It used to be medium sliced. 1 wholemeal roll, which used to be 2. And the best news for me is you now get 1 wholemeal pita bread. Doner kebab fakeaways, I don't need to have it with a wrap anymore. I can have it with a wholemeal pita bread, which is brilliant. In terms of crisp breads and cereals, there's been like a heap of changes in here on Ryvitas. I think it will just take me forever to list them, so you're best just checking on your app now and not making any assumptions. But yeah, they've introduced loads of new ones and taken out some of the old ones. And then with cereal bars, the only thing that they've changed is Alpen and Hi-Fi bars used to have a speed sign next to them, so that's now removed. But instead, they've added in 2 asterisks for some of these options, and they've basically said that it basically is better as a HEXB option because it takes up less calories. So for example, instead of 2 Alpenlight cereal bars, it's better to have 1. Instead of 2 Hi-Fi bars, if you can, it's better to have 1. And then coming on to nuts and seeds, so there's been a heap of measurement changes, but very slight. So I'm not going to go through them all. It's just worth checking on your apps, but it's so minor. It's things like you can have 20 almonds instead of 60. You can have 35 unsalted peanuts instead of 30, and you can have 40 pistachio nuts instead of 35. Chestnuts have been removed. Coconut flesh has also been removed, so these are no longer healthy extra B choices. Under dried fruit, pears has been removed. Under canned fruit, prunes have been removed, and pears have gone down from 350 grams of canned pears to 250 grams as a healthy extra B choice. Again, with cooked fruit, the changes are mainly to measurement, so it's just worth checking on the app. But for example, instead of 375 gram cooking apples, you now get 300. Instead of 450 grams of apricots, you now get 400. 300 grams of blueberries and 200 grams of strawberries as cooked fruit are now added in as a healthy extra B choice, which is also great. The ones that have been removed are white currants, damsons, green gages and prunes. I'll be honest, other than prunes, I don't have a clue what the rest of them are. But anyway, okay, let's get on to sins. So since they got out the Target member book, I can't remember when that was, I think it was July last year, there's now more of an emphasis on savvy sins. So it's just talking about how over time your body will change and your appetite will change, and you'll actually tend to go for healthier sin options. So for example, instead of going for chocolate and crisps, end up going for things like avocado or sushi or tomato-based pasta. It doesn't give you a list because it's personal to you. It's just telling you to be a bit more conscious of what you use your sins on and not just thinking it's a junk food allowance, because that's not the principle at all. So just coming on to some of the sins that were changed since September 2018. Fat-free flavoured yogurt is now sin. Averages between half and 1 sin, so it's worth checking on your app. Instant mash is now sinned, so you get 100 grams made up with water is 3.5 sins. Tinned pasta in tomato sauce is now sinned. It's around half a sin for 100 grams. And another thing to note is Heinz soup has seriously gone down in sin values. It's worth checking on the app. But for example, some soups that were like 10 sins are now 2 or 4 sins, like their tomato soup. I mean, it's brilliant. There's a picture going around and I'll put it on my highlights on Instagram as well. All the new sin values behind soup, and honestly, it's so much lower now and so convenient for like work and quick lunches. So I'm really pleased about that. That's a great update. Finally, let's come on to SP days. Information on SP days was included inside the main book, but now they've given a separate pamphlet, and actually what they've done is listed really clearly all the speed and protein foods, so you don't have to like look through a core list now and pick out what you need. It's all here, so it's so easy. SP days, there's 2 major changes. You no longer get a double healthy extra B choice, you only get 1, but as with extra easy, you now get 2 A choices, so you can't now go above 10 sins a day. So sadly, I used to struggle with SP days anyway, but this means I'm definitely not doing them anymore. unless I'm seriously desperate. I can completely understand why they made the changes. I remember in groups some members were kind of saying, I've done a whole week of SP and I didn't get the loss I wanted. So they've obviously gone back. Their nutritionist has looked at why it might not work. This now has far more chances of getting you the loss that you want, which is the most important thing. That is everything. And I honestly just want to emphasize, given the amount and wealth of information you have from Slimming World, these aren't significant changes overall in terms of how much can change on a plan. I really don't think this is much of a change. It's definitely more of an update. Tell Slimming World knows what they're talking about, because the key principles and things like that haven't really changed. I hope it was as clear as I intended. Do leave any comments if I've got anything wrong, which I really hope isn't the case, or if I've missed any key information. But honestly, I'm just so excited about this shiny new pack for the new year, and I think it's just a great way to start off. And if you haven't been to group, I would highly recommend join up and get started again, because it's like blank slate, new pack, perfect opportunity to get yourself back in control.